Kyle,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me in the room today.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Awesome. It's good to see you.
Yes.
I'm excited for today's conversation. My husband actually is probably the most excited for this conversation.
I can see that.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe it is a dude thing.
It is.
We're going to talk about land today.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's right up my alley.
Right up your alley.
Yes.
Well, tell me, so how long have you been in real estate? Where did you start your career? All that good stuff.
Yeah. I got licensed the very beginning of 2017. So I was 24 years old. I was working.
Just a baby.
I know,
Just a
right?
baby. I wish I got it in my 20s. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it was a good thing. It was meant to be. It's in my blood. My dad did a lot of real estate investing, and my mom's been a broker forever. You know, you obviously know Allison Keller.
Yeah. 20 plus years, right? She's been selling.
A long time,
Yeah.
more than a few decades. Does a lot of residential, a lot of luxury. So I've certainly learned from the best. But I had a government job making, a little bit of money right out of school. And she knew that my personality was to do a little bit more, be that achiever, reach some higher goals. And she had a good problem. So she needed to leverage. And so, it was 2016 Christmas. She said, "Merry Christmas, you're going to real estate school." I said, "Thanks, Mom."
She paid for your school? That was Christmas.
She did it. It was Christmas. I was like, all right, well, I got to do it.
Good mom.
Yeah, good mom. And it was definitely interesting working a full-time job and then going to school on the weekends. So I was like back to school, kind of a grind. But it was, I was really excited, super motivated to get it, and I could see what she was doing.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of knew about real estate before.
Yeah.
When I bought my first house, like a few years before that, I was actually on MLS, like looking for my own home. So like I knew like MLS,
you knew,
and like
what you were getting in.
And yeah, absolutely.
How old were you when you bought your first house then?
Oh gosh, 22, 23. It was a different time.
That's epic. That's awesome.
Yeah, you could actually buy a house in Cotswold for $175,000.
It was a little bit less, a little less expensive back then.
It was a different time frame. But yeah, so that was my Christmas present. I was super excited to get into it. And yeah, I didn't really know what else to do except join in with her. And so I came to KW Ballantyne. I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
So this is my ninth. Well, I've done 9 years. I'm going on my 10th year of real estate.
Cool.
And so I've learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes. I always joke around. I've like quit real estate like 3 times, but you wake up unemployed every single day anyways in this business. So you gotta go get after it.
I love it.
But yeah, I learned a lot. Recently started my own land company because I've been land centered, which is why we're here. I've been doing land only for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Before I did residential and land, but just organically grew my land business, and now I'm only selling land.
Okay.
And I ended up starting my own land company really just for SEO, branding, strategy, and really just bringing that higher level customer service to my clients.
Yeah.
And when I mean that I sell land, like I'm actually out in the sticks. Like, so I drive a lot. I'm riding a 4-wheeler. I focus on agriculture, forestry, hunting, and recreational properties, large homesteads. And then every now and then I dabble in like a commercial type zoning, because obviously when the cities grow, there's nowhere else to go to except for the county jurisdiction or, rural things like that. So I've done a little bit of development on the listing side of things too. So
wow.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's been fun and totally worth it.
So you were in residential, and were you just like, I'm just not into the fancy, kitchen? How did that happen? Like, how did you really just kind of find your niche?
Yeah, great question. I don't really know if I wanted to give up residential. So I'm from Matthews, North Carolina, right? Like, I just knew people that wanted to sell homes, and then I also knew people that wanted to buy hunting properties. My dad, and I got to give him all the credit for the whole land stuff, because he bought 300 acres when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
So I didn't know that I was going to do this back then. It just kind of happened naturally. But again, real estate is in my blood, and it just organically happened in that way.
That's cool.
Really just building a strong clientele. Sabra taught me how to do a South Carolina contract over like a couple of emails, but I just natural at selling land. I guess from that kind of personal experience from 9 years old, like woodsmanship, land stewardship, understanding how forestry and timber production works. Like, so like now I own 300 acres as well. My forester is Kent Paris. He's the same forester that my dad had. So like I've known Kent forever. So it's kind of like a full circle thing. But just, I'm a bow hunting addict, like I love whitetail hunting, and turkey season's coming up in April. So just having fun with it, and just knowing how to really design hunting properties and just understand that buyer psychology. It's helped me make my buyers successful, and then it's made me very successful with all of my listings, because now I know how to prepare everything for that sale. But yeah, I've sold a lot of residential, nothing wrong with it, but I just decided to make the jump and just do land only, because it was just that much more worth it. It was very difficult to turn off the switch for land and go back to residential. And so I just said, okay, I'm just going to do land only. And it's just been a huge passion of mine. And here we are.
Wow. I have so many questions. Okay, so one thing you mentioned, South Carolina. So you're licensed both in North and South Carolina?
Correct.
Okay.
The cool thing about North Carolina, the 2T for residential, and you have the 12T for land, it's the same thing.
The same.
A while ago, South Carolina, that's why I had asked Sabra questions often. The land contracts were a lot different. But now they're very, very similar, because you can, do the whole checkbox for just due diligence period for South Carolina for residential things. So it's very, very similar.
I think that brings up a really good point, though, that, again, selling residential and having, say, your mom has a luxury niche, but selling land really is its own animal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many things. We could go on and on just on a podcast of that, right? Of how different, and the things you're looking out for your buyers or even your sellers that don't even come up into discussion for residential.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Land is always the foundation of all real estate. And I even told my mom this a long time ago. It's like, man, residential people, I can now pick up a phone. I know if you're a residential realtor.
Yep. I
know if you're a commercial realtor. And then, of course, we're a different breed in the land business. I know if you're a land broker.
Yeah.
And it's just, certain questions that you can ask. Like, for example, I have a lot of listings, and it's great. I've got a deal going on right now, lots of questions. Like, I can tell that this cooperating broker is a residential broker.
Yeah.
I'm, walking them through it. And then, I pick up a phone, and it's like a 10-second phone call, because like the land broker, like they can, with the right technology, you can find out everything about land very, very quickly. So it's certainly a niche market space, but it is a different breed of people for sure.
So you mentioned you have a lot of listings right now. Tell us kind of what's the market doing when we're talking about land. What's the market right now in North and South Carolina?
Expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, land has certainly jumped up. It was a long time ago, before COVID. You could actually get land for maybe, I don't know, $2,000 to $4,000 an acre.
Yeah.
Depending on the size and how far away you are from the city
Location.
limits.
Sure.
Now I'm selling medium-sized homesteads for like anywhere from like $4,000 to $8,000 an acre.
Wow.
So things have almost
in less than 10 years we've seen this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so there's inventory, but then there's also not a lot of inventory. If you're a smart buyer, which the majority of the land buyers are, you can use your GIS like HuntStand, Onyx, even the public GIS, Zillow, or I love Land ID. That's what I use. You can learn everything about the land. There's a lot of inventory out there that has flood zones or wetlands, or they've sheared all the timber off of it, or there's no access and it's just been in the family so long, there's no recorded easement agreement. And so you've got that kind of inventory, and then you have like a completely different level of inventory where it's absolutely manicured pristine property, like we're talking fire breaks, we're talking prescribed fires, everything's cleaned up, it's stunning, it's gorgeous. If it's a recreational property, they'll have food plots. Like there's different tiers for land, just like there's different tiers for residential.
That's what it makes me think of. Yeah.
And so, you know, for example, I sold a large 350 acre piece and set a record for a price per acre in a couple of days in Lancaster County.
Wow.
Versus property that's not as nice. It's a cheaper price per acre, and it'll take me, you know, probably 3 to 6 months to sell. So there's definitely different tier levels of land and preparedness from the seller side.
Yeah.
But people ask me all the time, like, well, how long does a land sale usually take?
Yeah. I would think a longer time.
You know, it could be really easy or it could be really difficult. We can sell land in like 35 to 45 days when the bank is ready and you got clear title. And I've had deals where they've taken over a year just for agriculture. Because you do the title research and you find out there's like 12 or 18 different heirs, and then every single heir's got their own story, and then you got to collect everybody, and then you got to get everybody to have clear title. So it can be a mess or it can be really easy, and I preferred it to be easy.
I would think so.
Yes.
Yeah, that 30-day close is nice.
Yes, and it's a lot of work on the listing side too.
Yeah.
Lots of work. Like it's not it's like staging a house.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a lot of tractor riding, a lot of cleanup, a lot of, you know, just preparedness and things like that.
I'm envisioning literally you have a truck and probably some kind of hauler that's taking a four-wheeler with you anytime you're out on these properties.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing showings for land, a lot of it's by foot or it's by a four-wheeler. And I like to do a little bit of both because sometimes if it's like vacant land, like there's no improvements.
Nothing.
Like you're at the road and you're figuring out how to get through a briar patch.
Yes.
You know, or you've got to go down the trails and it's, you know, 300 or 100 acre property, whatever. Driving a four-wheeler, you can zip around the property very easily. My four-wheeler was broken one time, and I did a showing for 300 acres by foot. It was like an all-morning kind of thing, and we still didn't see all of it.
No way.
I still got it sold, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
No way you could see all that.
Yeah, there's just too much land.
Yeah.
But I love walking around. You got to walk it, you know, boots on the ground, legit, because you can't really see inside the woods from the trails. You know, the hardwoods, the creek bottoms, you know, just a beautiful, picturesque landscape is what really sells the property.
You're making me want to move out of the city immediately.
Hey, it's a hot commodity. A lot of people are doing it.
You know, that's a great. Let's talk about that. So, what is the hot commodity? You know, I obviously think of like a lot of the men in my life, as I mentioned, my husband.
Yeah.
You know, like go buy the 100 acres or 300 acres. Is it more of a recreational sporting? But then, you know, like you mentioned, there's some homesteads and people just looking to get out of, again, the city, but they're still living and commuting in. Or what are you seeing, and maybe where are you seeing that people are really kind of pointing at right now?
That is a great question. If it is an easily accessible location off of an interstate or a highway or an exit, that is the prime location. Right now, like for example, Fort Mill, I think is one of the most desired place to move to in South Carolina.
Yep.
Right? Or in the greater Charlotte area, right?
Yep.
And then South Carolina as a statewide thing, that a ton of people are just moving to South Carolina as a whole. And then of course, Charlotte is just incessantly growing and not stopping. So basically, these like tiny little mill towns that were run down are now becoming huge, desirable locations with major transition rates. Like, for example, York, South Carolina, right? Like before COVID, there was not much down there. It was a quiet town, and now you've got new construction everywhere, tons of businesses. I was selling like medium size, like maybe 40, 50 acres out in like Hickory Grove, past York, for maybe like under 8,000 an acre. And then you're typically now looking like maybe towards 8 to 12, maybe higher, depending on the size of the homestead, right? And I know it's a large range, but like 5 acres is a whole lot different than like 80 acres,
100%.
right? But right now, if you can get to anywhere within 30 minutes to an hour, that is a hot commodity. So pretty much everything in the greater Charlotte area is a hot commodity.
Wow.
COVID accelerated that because of the psychology of the buyer. Like people were tired of being inside. People want to get out of the city.
Give me some land.
giant demand, and that's what accelerated that rate. And then now Fort Mill is at development capacity, right? The Catawba River, the moment you cross over that, that's Rock Hill, and now Rock Hill is growing rapidly. So like you can get into like no cell phone service kind of areas within like 30 to 35 minutes.
South of here,
Yeah, right south of Ballantyne. And then a big portion of the North Carolina area. I love Statesville. It's very quick and easy to get to. Union County, very quick and easy to get to. Salisbury, really quick and easy to get to, right? And if you see my trend, you either go down 74, 85, or 77. So it's literally everywhere within an hour that's off of like a major exit people are wanting to get to. And the buyer psychology is exactly that. People want a place to have like a weekend getaway. People want a place to have for a long time to hang out with their kids, or people just understand investing because you know, like you can get a 300-acre hunting property. Like if the S&P 500 is on a 16% average per year, you can't kill deer on that or ride four-wheelers or, you know,
you just holding it.
Yeah, you can't have a glass of bourbon by a fire. You know, you can get almost that with buying land if you do it the proper way. So literally every single reason or an excuse to buy land is exactly that. I've heard every single one of them.
That's really cool. And again, it makes sense.
And it's high demand, and the inventory of quality land is quite low.
Always, which is so funny. Back to the residential, we always say, if it's move-in ready, right?
Yeah.
People want to come. I don't want to mess with all of it.
That's right.
Do I have a driveway, as you mentioned? Do I have firewalls? Do I have things that I don't have to deal with later?
That's right.
Same with a house. I mean, it really sounds like the same type of a buyer looking.
That's right. It's the same psychology, but different with the land aspects.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got a very, very good pipeline. And so like there'll be a couple listings that pop up and I'll have like multiple people like blow my phone up over the same thing.
Gotta go see this.
Yeah. It's almost like you go to a really nice restaurant and you realize that the waitress or the waiter didn't write anything down. It's because they've memorized it. They heard it nonstop. Like that's kind of how it is in the land business. Like every single land listing that comes up, whether it's on the MLS or not, I have absolutely seen it. I've heard about it, and I've probably driven by it a million times just from doing this for so long.
I would think even the agents that you're kind of, if you will, rubbing elbows with, you guys are probably even a smaller niche community, right? Of like agents, and I know this guy, and I know I can call this guy, and if so-and-so has something coming soon, or
absolutely. Like you better play nice because there's really a couple of us doing it. And so that's another reason why, you know, because residential real estate's got a lot of
there's a lot of us,
a lot of competition.
Yeah.
There's really not many guys doing it. There's a few women in the area doing it that I know of, like maybe like in the Low Country or down in Aiken, but like in our greater Charlotte area, like if you are an agriculture and recreational broker, like there's really like a handful of guys doing it. A gentleman sent like, oh, hey, word of mouth from neighbors, heard this and that, and we're going to list 530 acres in, you know, Western York County, and we're going to do this off market. And it's like you can see who's on the email.
Yeah.
It's like a couple of guys.
You know.
For sure. Yeah. And then each one of those guys has a pipeline, again, low inventory, and everybody's been in the business for a while. It's funny, they all know me now, but you know, they used to haze me and call me the little residential boy. But that was a long time ago. I've earned my stripes.
You've earned it.
Yeah, no, it's a bunch of good guys, and everybody, you know, respects each other. And I'm the only one at KW, and everybody's kind of, you know, at different, you know, land firms, but not many people are at KW as compared to like out west. Like you get a lot of land brokers.
That's a great point. So why KW? Why specifically KW Ballantyne? You've stayed here even as you became the land guy.
Yeah, naturally came here, obviously because my mom with the business. But I mean, I can't really see myself going anywhere else. Knowing what I know now and how other firms operate with their business structures, like it is a known fact. Like there's many reasons to be at KW, but main one is like, you know, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I want to own my own clients. I want to set my business models. And then of course the commission structures as a realtor, you just make more money being at Keller Williams as a whole.
Yeah.
But then Ballantyne, I mean, it's just a fantastic location, everything that I need. Everybody here is great. And then the South Carolina laws, right? Like, so I just started my own land company, Carolina Roots Land Co. With South Carolina, I don't have to be a BIC. And that's big for me because, like, you know, I don't have time to go do that right now. I'm trying to build a business. I got 2 babies at home, but you know, I'm leveraging KW to be my foundation, my technology for me to be an entrepreneur, right? Like when I wake up every single day, as a land broker, as a realtor, as an entrepreneur, I've got one thing on my mind, and it is prospecting, just like everybody else in the real estate game should be. It is prospecting, it is follow up, it is sending out text messages, and then it is making sure that my deals that are under contract, that we're keeping it together.
That's right.
So
Run smoothly.
That's all I want to do. And then, you know, my buyers, I schedule them. And then for my listings, I prep them and get them sold. I don't want to worry about forms. I don't want to worry about the legality of certain things. It's just a solid foundation, and you just make more money here at KW anyways. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You had actually a phenomenal year. Was this your best year last year in 2025?
It was, and it's funny that we're here now, even talking about it. I guess because it's like the time for the award ceremony.
We're
for
celebrating,
the office, right?
yeah.
It my magical phone sent me a photo where I did 18 million in 2023, and like I was on top of the world.
18
like,
million.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I wanted.
How am I ever going to do this again?
Yes.
And then last year, you know, I've kind of figured it out. I got a really good system here, leveraging a transaction coordinator. I got a buyer's agent, really, really honing in on all my listings. I did about 43 million in volume last year across 7,000 acres.
Wow.
And so that's big for me. I'm very pleased to be able to help that many clientele. And then a lot of my mentors in the land industry, you know, whether they're in the low country or up in the mountains of North Carolina or even out west, you know, I get like notifications from these new listings out in like Oklahoma or Montana. It's like 3,000 acres, 2,000 acres.
On one listing.
Yeah, it's like $20 million listings. I'm like, oh gosh, I need to get to that level. Because over here, you know, 100 acres is big.
Oh my gosh.
Our parcels aren't that large. And if you look in York County or Chester County, like there's really not many contiguous like 1,000 acre pieces. And so, you know, if you're in the greater Charlotte area and you're selling ag land or recreational property, no, 50 acres, you're doing good. 100 acres, you're almost in the 1%. And if you know people that own like 300 plus acres, that's super rare. You don't really get a whole lot of that around here. You'll find it in the further parts, like in the western side of York and Chester County. There's really big pieces in Fairfield County and in Lancaster County towards Kershaw or He Springs, Stonesboro, you know, little like side towns that people don't know of.
Yeah.
But no, it's there's a lot of land out there, and I'm just happy to be part of it. I looked it up one time. There's like about 1.5 million acres between here and Columbia. I'm trying to sell every bit of it.
1.5 million. Wow.
So yeah, selling 7,000 acres was a lot of work. It was over 100 transactions, but
wow.
But yeah, you just got to keep it going. My goal for this year is to do as much or more. My firstborn is 2 years old, and we just had a newborn. He just turned 2 months yesterday. Well, so 8 weeks old yesterday, and so it's been a lot trying to, you know,
start a family.
Yeah, start a family, start a business,
selling the world.
That's right. That's right. So, no, I think it's going to be great. I did a lot of business, you know, under Carolina, living in the States, work with my mom, but starting this new company, I think it's going to be, really efficient for me and a whole lot better for my clientele, just being more land oriented.
Yeah, focus there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so tell me again. So we'll go ahead and put it on the screen so everybody knows.
Yes.
What is the website that they should go to for the land we'll call you the landman.
Yes.
We need to come up with a cool name for you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Everything is Carolina Roots Land.
Carolina Roots Land.
That's right. So you can type that into Google. My website will come up. You can type that into YouTube. I just started everything. So I've got a few subscribers on YouTube, a few followers on Facebook and Instagram. So Carolina Roots Land. You can type that into everything and it'll pull up. So definitely,
Awesome.
like and subscribe, follow, all the above. The latest listings, land management tips. I just did something yesterday, just with a forestry mulcher, like serious vacant land, like woods, no trails, no nothing. We're doing some listing preparation, making driveway access, making trail access, strategic hunting access, food plots, feeding sites, the whole nine. So everything from my listings to how to buy real estate, what to look out for to make a safe purchase, how to invest in agriculture land, and quick land management and wildlife management tips. So all the above.
Find you online.
That's right.
Carolina Roots Land.
That's me.
Easy peasy. Kyle, thank you for coming today.
Absolutely.
That's
Thanks for
super
having me.
helpful.
Yeah.
Man, a lot going on in land.
Lots going on in land.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you.